he was letting us know. He's like, look, you're gonna have adults that are gonna be all up in your face about, what you think that shit's real, and you really doing all this. He's like, they're gonna be in your face. They're gonna give you a hard time. Don't take them personally. However, do the best you can to, for lack of a better word, keep the magic alive for kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I got that covered. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I could tell them about the time I had this one, really pesky ghost in the courthouse, or this one time that I did it in the in a train station. What's wrong?
Hold on. I think I'm hearing feedback through Magister's microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because every time that I talk or Bat Knight was talking, I could see that your mic was picking it up. Are you listening on like speakers or anything?
No, just on my phone.
Okay, let's keep testing, see if it's coming through. I think now we're doing better.
Better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want us to talk? Just talk?
I think we're good.
Good.
Wait, so Bat Night, there's adults that seriously come up to you and say, so you think all this stuff is real? Like they don't realize you're literally playing characters from a movie.
Well, I mean, we're not. I mean, my flight suit doesn't have Venkman or Spangler on it. It has my last name on it. So, we cosplay. For our charity thing, we're not cosplaying as the movie characters. We try to play it up for the kids like we're just local Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I feel like people who do that at like charity events, you're like, oh, are you for real? Yeah, I'll do whatever to raise money for kids, right? Like,
well, what's even funnier is we've actually got a couple of guys that have studied this stuff. You know how you see that on the TV shows like Ghost Hunters and things like that? We got a couple in our group that will actually use EMF readers and things like that to try to find ghosts in haunted areas.
Hey,
and
me and Apollo did that. We did that in downtown, I don't know if we're streaming yet.
Well,
we went
okay.
We didn't find anything.
We didn't find anything, but I really wanted to.
I told him, I was like, look, you want somebody to come with you, I'll do it. I mean, I'm open-minded. Let's do this thing. But no, my stories are all instances from, because we all know I also play the online game. And so I tell them stories about, this pesky ghost. I was at a train station where whatever. I don't have to tell them it's from the video game.
That's true.
So
I'll have to update my Twitch app. Meh.
And by the way, I've added another mask to my wall in case y'all didn't notice that one in between Deadpool and Casey Jones.
Very nice.
I'm a Donatello girl myself, but
So is my wife.
Yeah.
Can you guess who my turtle is?
Mikey?
I don't know him well enough. I watched like the CGI 2010 movie. That's what I liked him. He was so cute.
Michelangelo a turtle?
It was either Michelangelo or Raphael.
It's Raphael.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? Of course I love the bad boy.
As a kid, I was all about Leonardo, but I've noticed as I've gotten older, I have Raphael's temperament.
Hello, Muffiny. Okay. 7:35. Evie from HR said that they'll be joining, but it might just take an extra minute or two to get in, and that's fine. We will see them when they get here. What is the most impactful NPC relationship, friendship or otherwise, you have experienced in a game? Okay, and yep, Magister, I'm definitely getting feedback through you again.
Again? Okay.
Yeah.
Sign off and come back.
Okay.
See, I misread it the first time. I thought it was just impactful relationship. And I was going to talk about that one, but then I read the NPC part and I'm like, shit. One of those is...
Oh, shit.
It doesn't have to be between two NPCs. It could be between the player character. Mine that I've chosen is between the player character and an NPC.
Oh, good.
Then I was going to specify. Wait, we're putting the cart before the horse. So, yeah, we'll talk. Well, I'll introduce it so it's more clear because this is always my fault. I always just type the polls and no one can understand me apparently.
No, I just misread it and I was like, okay, so my most impactful relationships, I put down 3 and it's all between me as a player character and the NPC that I'm romancing, whether it was story or
Yeah,
not.
I put that to make it. I thought that would make it clear that it didn't have to be a romance option, I guess, which is also why I put friendship or otherwise. But all it did was make people think it had to be between NPCs or something. But that was my bad. No, I like whatever that is. But you're muted, Daddy Bat Night.
I was
Hello,
saying
Evie.
too much. My ecto goggles.
Wear your gear. It's all good.
Oh, don't tell me that. I'll go get my flight suit.
Okay. All right. Full house tonight. Look at us. We have an ad that starts in 30 seconds, so I will let that run through and go.
My sister would be here, but she's too tired because she's like selling her house. But in a couple weeks, she'll be West Coast time zone, so it'll be a lot easier for her to join for patron chats. Welcome,
Literally
Evie.
cannot wait.
I ran 4.1 miles today without stopping, and now I'm here. Come on, people.
I'm so proud of you. That's so good.
Muffin, Apollo calling you out on your shit.
I apologize for being a little behind. There was more road work than I had anticipated.
That's
Oh
fine.
no, you're good.
We're just dicking around. We're gonna start. I swear. Is the ad over? I don't know. It's over for me. I don't subscribe to us, so I get ads.
I don't subscribe to us either.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I feel
Wait, you're not
like
supposed to subscribe to yourself? No, I'm kidding.
I mean you totally can, but that would just be like me paying V money and her paying me money right back and us losing money by paying Twitch half of that. So,
Yeah.
you know, ¿por qué? I'm just taking this time to play with settings and making things look different because I can. What are you? I want to copy and paste you.
Are fireworks illegal in Portland?
Anything that goes up into the sky.
Where do you watch fireworks?
Oh, you watch them as shows. Like you go to
That's what I had
fireworks
growing up
shows.
too, but I can't find any on my side of the river.
No, you go downtown.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look that up.
I forgot to get the digital copy, so that was me showing you guys like my pictures from Ranger stuff.
Aw. I bet the digital copy would have been like way more though.
Actually, no, it's like it's $10 per
Well, that's
per
not bad.
picture. No.
That's not bad at all. Like my daughter just took photos for ballet. Is the ad over? Otherwise, I'll stop talking. But
it is over.
Oh, okay. Fine. Never mind. Nobody cares about her ballet pictures. Okay, we're ready.
I care about my baby's ballet pictures.
Well, I'll get them in a week or so, but the digitals were like $50 for one. Yeah. I was like, who are you? I'll take a picture with my phone camera.
I think that's what I paid for me to take a picture with Jennifer Hale.
Yeah. Worth it for that one.
Hell yeah.
How much all the
Winifred,
pictures
I
were.
love you. Winifred just subscribed for 22 months. Which means that we've been affiliate for 22 months. We're almost at 2 years on Twitch, which is crazy. Actually, it took us a couple months to get affiliated. But, okay. All right. Where am I? That's where I'm at. Damn. Are you recording? Yes, good job. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship, the podcast where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. I'm Jennasis, the girl who very surprisingly did not rip into her new box of gear today. My pre-order copy of Edge Runners, the Cyberpunk mission kit, to add an expansion of the anime to her Cyberpunk Red TTRPG came in today, and it is still factory sealed. And I want to open it so bad, but I won't.
Why didn't you open it? Waiting for
Because-
Christmas?
No, waiting for content. I decided that I'll do an unboxing as an episode.
Oh,
But
man.
now I'm like, damn it. We don't record Cyberpunk again for a whole nother week. I have to sit here with an unopened box for a week.
Just like edging yourself with cyberpunk content. Anyway, I was hoping to get my Baldur's Gate 3 vinyl that I ordered ages ago in the mail. I don't think it's shipped yet. And I'm wondering like when it's supposed to get here. Also, last year we ordered a Garrus statue from the BioWare gear store, and it still hasn't arrived. It was supposed to come in June. It's June. Now it says September. I'll never get a Garrus statue. Oh yeah, I'm Virvada, by the way. I forgot to introduce myself. Not that I need an introduction. So, yay.
Super fun times. My camera's doing the bullshit again where it's fading in and out. So I'm going to go off cams to make that better. Yeah. I think that Meets and my computer doesn't like all the different people and streaming. So, sorry.
It's like slap you back down to having only a couple patrons join every time. You're not allowed to have more friends. Oh well. I miss your face already.
Oh,
I
I'm
actually
still
didn't
here,
even-
I promise.
I didn't even realize it was happening because Wynn put like this comment of, I don't even know what that's supposed to be.
Those
But
are
it's also like-
bits. She just gave us free. She just sent us money. I don't know how
well,
many tiers
thanks.
those are. She
see
just
how
sent
see
us.
how inept I am at Twitch. I'm like, what are these little flashy things? That's what I got distracted by because I thought that's what you were talking about, but then I saw your camera was doing the thing. Anyway, okay, so let me explain the patron chat topic tonight because it sounds like there was some confusion as usual because I, as much as I love my first language of English, apparently am not very good at explaining myself through the written word on patron chat polls. So the topic that won the vote was, what is your most impactful relationship, friendship or otherwise, in a video game? And I did add with NPCs because I wanted it to be any NPC, not just a romance option, which I guess was covered under friendship or otherwise. But I think some people took it to mean only between other NPCs, not with the player character. But that's not what I meant. So you guys can pick however you want it. If you have player character with an NPC or between two NPCs or more than two NPCs, whatever, pick. It doesn't. I just wanted something like a relationship that really impacted you because I already got one just off the bat. But I'm interested to hear what everyone else's are because we talk a lot about relationships, but I think the friendships are just as important in any game.
I love that you went off the bat and Bat Night was like, me? Okay, let's go. Oh,
Yeah,
No, that was
speaking
me
of
doing me
patrons.
too. I knew what I knew. I know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, but everyone, you can introduce yourselves. If I don't know what order, if Jen wants to do the order, she normally does that because it is a patron chat today.
It is a patron chat today, and we do have our friends here with us. Apollo, you are first on my list tonight.
Hello.
And then we have Bat Knight with us.
Hello there.
Magister Davida.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Evie.
Hi.
Yay! Everyone's here. Okay, so Apollo, do you have an idea ready to go?
I do. So, I mean, mine is going to be the one that I've talked about before. If you ask me any relationship that I find the most impactful in any game, it's going to be Joel and Ellie for me, unless something else comes out that's going to take its place someday. But there's just so many levels to that relationship. You have a man who is literally broken at the beginning of the game, who definitely wants to die, but just can't bring himself to allow it to happen, meets this girl that
Fuck me.
should I pause or should I keep talking?
Mother. I don't know. She's stream queen. I mean, she's clearly still here because we're all still here. Oh, I
I'm
think our
back.
stream froze.
No, I'm back. We're back.
Oh, wait, we're back. No, I
Okay.
had noticed because I was like, I wonder what's happening, and I noticed my Twitch had frozen. I think it's better now. Are you there,
Is it?
Jen?
Yeah,
Jen!
no, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
I can't see you, so I didn't know. I'm sorry.
I think Twitch is still frozen if I'm on my phone.
You know what? This might be a no stream night then. Oh,
That's fine with me. I had to exit out and have an ad. Let me see if
I
it's
hit
working.
refresh. We're good now.
I don't know. I had an ad and then it froze at the end of the ad.
yeah.
Yeah. Puke.
Super
well.
cute. But Apollo, you were talking about Joel and Ellie.
Yeah. So I was just saying, like, this is a man who literally saw her as nothing more than cargo for a decent portion of the game until she basically lays into him. And with her whole, everybody that I've ever known has either left me or died except fucking you, which finally brings him around to where we get the just incredibly emotional scene where after she has killed somebody and is butchering them, he pulls her off and goes back to the term and finally calls her baby girl, which is what we get at the beginning of the game with his daughter. So that is literally we literally see her becoming his daughter in that moment, and they're happy for not long in game, maybe a few weeks of real time in that real world before everything goes to shit again. And then with part 2, we know what happens with part 2. Like, I don't know, like that again, this is a game that doesn't change at all, and I've put almost 600 hours into those 2 games, and which is a lot for games that you can play in 45 hours, both of them. So I don't know. For me, that's always going to be my number one, unless something amazing comes around and passes it.
I still haven't played it yet. I know. I'm horrible. I know. But there are so many other games out there too. Like, I've been playing a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's just, I need to prioritize it. I do.
You do, because they are short. You don't have to spend 600 hours on them like Apollo. And yeah,
Well, I can speed run because there's speed run in Last of Us now. I can speed run it in under 5 hours. I think I speed ran Last of Us 2 in like 9, but of course you wouldn't be doing that in a first playthrough.
Okay.
Even if that relationship doesn't even affect you at all, which you would have to be dead inside for that to happen, but like the rest of it is also just as impactful and good and hard to watch and so happy sometimes and so devastating other times. Second one is more devastating than not, but still. So I thought you were going to say Abby and Ellie, honestly. I mean, I knew how you felt about Joel and Ellie, but I don't know, my mind immediately went for the drama. So I was like, "Oh, Abby and Ellie," because their relationship is just like that should have affected me. I couldn't think of anything else for like 2 weeks after finishing part 2.
That just goes into the way that the whole effect of the whole game is that
Yep.
you're in part 2 at the beginning of the game, you fucking hate Abby. I mean, you fucking hate her. And by the end of the game, I think it's hard if you really play that game and listen to what it's telling you. You can't hate Abby anymore. You learn about point of view and how good and bad in a world like that is just all about point of view.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's great. Everything's great. Both those games are great. Everyone in there is great. Joel and Ellie. I mean, I'm a sucker for like adoptive, begrudging dad figure with child randomly. Like, oh, I love that.
All right. That night, what do you got?
Oh, thank you, B. You gave me the greatest freaking segue because the begrudging dad figure. I was gonna go with season 1 of Telltale's The Walking Dead with Lee Everett and Clementine, and I know it's a lot of the same story, but that one will forever be a big one on my list because I went into that because I had already played a couple of other Telltale games. I'd played Wolf Among Us, and I believe the first season of Batman before I'd got around to actually playing The Walking Dead, because I had a tentative relationship with that series. I'd watched some of it, but I wouldn't call me a fan at that point. Still technically not, but so it was just I wanted another Telltale game. And Back to the Future, I played that one too. But I saw The Walking Dead, and I mean, I'd obviously heard about it because I think that was one of the first ones they did. And I was like, you know what? I'm just looking for a Telltale game. Screw it, I'll play this one. And so I went into it with like zero expectation. And by the end of that, when I finished that, the timing could not have been either more tragic or more beautiful, depending on how you look at it, because my wife was pregnant with our first child by the time I finished the first season. And so I had gotten very attached very quickly to the Clementine character. And I mean, spoilers, it doesn't go well. And so there's a scene where, a very rough choice has to be made. And there is no good option because it's The Walking Dead. Of course there isn't. But Clem is sitting here crying. She's like openly sobbing, like, no, you promised you'd always be there to protect me. And I was devastated. I drove a taxi at the time. And so I often did a lot of finishing my games like in the early mornings before I went to sleep. And by the time I got finished with that first season, I was, the way I always tell the story, I was sobbing like a little girl with a skinned knee. It was horrible. And I crawled in to bed behind my wife, and I apparently woke her up because she rolled over, looked at me, and goes, "Oh God, what happened?" I'm like, "Nothing, everything's fine." And she's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "I finished my game." And I, because of how behind I was, like they were already the second season was coming out any time now. And she asked me, she's like, "Man, as bad as that got you, you're not going to play the next season." I was like, "Are you kidding me? I've already pre-ordered it." So yeah, I got so attached so much. And then by the time we get to season 4, I'm not going to delve into that, but by the time we get into season 4, Clem has done such a character arc. And then there were so many moments where I'm still, I guess, thinking of myself as like the ghost of Lee, because something will happen in the story and I'm like, "That's my girl." I got so attached to that relationship. So yeah, that will forever be a top on my list.
First, we have to shout out Mary Kenny. because she was working on those games. We've had her on a couple times, including a Patreon chat one time. Super fun. And she worked at Telltale and was working on, I think she did work on The Wolf and on The Walking Dead and helped a lot with Clementine.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
when
if
she
I
tweeted
remember
that out in the
correctly.
patron chat, I geeked out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's cool. We miss her. You're welcome back whenever, Mary.
Hmm. But I also do remember I played The Wolf Among Us. I did not play the Walking Dead one only because I didn't watch the series, so like that wasn't a game that was high on my priority. Don't give me that look, woman. I swear. Um,
I never finished the series.
Well, I chose to stop watching it after a certain event, but it was great up until that point.
Wait, are we talking TV series or game series?
TV series. I actually have not played
yeah,
the
I never
games.
finished the TV series, but I've
Oh,
played
yeah.
the game series like 4 times.
Oh yeah, I played the games. There's some rough moment in those games. I don't remember if it's the second or third one where you're at the gas station and you're talking to that little kid, and then all of a sudden, bang, shot in the head. I'm like, what just
Oof.
happened here?
Third one.
Third one.
A lot of
That
people
was
have played this
shocking.
game. I like that. I also do remember when we were talking about this, about how many different relationships Clementine can get into, like interpersonal relationships and just how they evolve and grow over the game. So I like that. That's really cool that it impacted you that much and that it's one of your now like core memories about a video game. And that makes it really special. You got anything to add?
Just that's what it's about. Like anything that gets me like that, which contrary to my very sensy, empathetic nature, it doesn't happen that often where I'm like actually touched, So love it. It's my favorite. And I think games have a much, not to say easier time of it, but it's a uniquely deep like impact when it happens because of you participating in the story. And I love it. And I live for that.
Ooh, this just came to my mind, but like what is the form of media that impacts you the most? Like obviously, if somebody in my real life is going through something, that's going to impact me the most. If I am playing a video game where I'm the one playing through it and I'm acting like that player character is me, that impact is pretty heavy. If I'm reading a character about a character in a book, there's still an emotional connection there, but I am going to feel more emotionally invested if it's an audiobook because I can hear the emotion and I can hear that going on. And I think the same along the same lines of like a movie or anything like that, an audio drama. Um, the written word to me has the least impact on my mental stability. Oh, hmm, interesting. Maybe that's why I don't like visual novels. Instead of diving into my own psyche, how about we hit Magister Davidas?
Fair enough. So just to off the rip, I am devastated because Daddy Bat Night, that was exactly the one I was gonna go for. Because Lee and Clementine's relationship is just outright just it definitely stuck with like I'll still quote Lee to this very day, like of the moments that they had together and just thinking about just the little interactions. Like there'd be a couple of times where Clementine will do something and he'd be like, that's a lesson that Lee taught you. And it's just like doing the utmost to try to prepare this child um for the ravages of what it is to be in an apocalyptic world. Because you can whatever you do as Lee shapes Clementine later on, and those lessons do come back. But since I don't want to like contrive and go along the same vein, I'll go with the second one. Um, I think the second one, my second one that impacted me most would be Max Caulfield and Chloe from. Did I take yours? I'm so sorry.
No, that was my number 2 as well. If somebody took Joel and Ellie, but
Chloe and Max, those two, yes, their relationship can be a bit of a hot mess. However, there's something inspiring about a relationship that's so strong that when someone literally is about to die, you gain superpowers and turn back time. Like it is. There's something just about that. And then literally going through, they were so smart about like making it an episodic game. Like we're doing episodes after episode after, because you get to sit with those each episode and think about like the hanging out with each other and oh my god I got powers, and then it goes into okay let's do some investigation, and then we found this stuff, we found that stuff, and oh this is getting thicker, I'm not sure what we're going to do here, going into okay I think we're having a little falling out period, but maybe I can look at a picture, oh I'm back in time, maybe I can solve everything, and oh no I made things worse. Like just the back and forth that you have to go through with Chloe as Max. Truly, it was a beautiful yet haunting experience. Especially that one episode where, like I said, you thought you made everything better, and then all of a sudden now you have to deal with a friend who's a paraplegic, and who is contemplating self harm, and it's just that whole game constantly kind of dug at you. It made you think. It made you sit with a lot of decisions. Even to the point where I remember, I think it's episode 4, where you find something buried. And when I tell you, I was so outright devastated. Like Daddy Bat Knight said about Clementine Lee, I was devastated by that too. But when you find what's buried in the junkyard, and you have Chloe sobbing there, Max worried, and then all of a sudden someone gets hit in the back of the head and blackout. I had to leave my house. I had to go outside and walk in the sunshine because I was like, this is too dark. I feel so depressed right now. And then going into episode 5, and everything accumulates, and it comes down to a choice. Do you choose to save one, or do you choose to save the all? Do you rescue the one person on the train track, or do you sacrifice several innocents? And whether you choose one or the other, that relationship truly just feels like it's been capped off. Whether it's you riding out of town with a potential significant other, best friend, or going to a funeral. That game left a major impact with me, and that relationship between the two of them, shooting bottles outside the graveyard, going swimming, even though it's a little cringe, and yelling at David and everything else, the ups and downs and the woes. That relationship was definitely a strong one to me.
I remember when we covered that game, and even though I hadn't played it, there was this connection that I could tell that this game would impact me for sure. Because everybody on the face of this earth wishes that they could turn back time to fix a mistake. You know, there's nobody out there that doesn't have a single regret to be like, "Oh, if I could just go back and change the way that this thing happened, or, say this differently or do something different." And now you can see in this video game, that might not be the best thing, is you go back in time You do things differently. You make a different choice. You say different words. And now here's the same level of different outcomes that may or may not be better. They could actually be worse. And then at the end, to make that final decision of, I have tried so hard to make everything perfect. And now I have to choose between hanging on to this thing that I have fought so hard for, or to let it go.
That's what's masterful about the end of that game. But that applies to Last of Us too. Like, that's actually, those two games are perfect examples of those endings. Do you do the thing that's best for the world, or do you do the thing that's best for your own personal world? And I think if you're playing as yourself, you're probably going to do. I mean, how many people are going to sacrifice the person they love for the world? Like, I don't think. I'd love to say that, I would always choose the world over one person, but would I if I actually was in that situation? Probably not.
Yeah. It's a tough decision. Ooh.
Shout out to Xbox for showing us the showcase and showing the trailer of our girl Max coming back. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah. Can't wait for that.
There's no way Chloe's not going to be in it in some way, because the dude was asked a question. He basically was like, no comment. No comment means yes. If the answer was no, he'd say no.
All right. V, do we want to take a mid break? And then when we get back, we can talk to Evie and do R2?
If you want, I have another one that I just thought of that I wanted to say. So maybe we could also do another round if everyone else has another one that they want to say.
Oh, okay.
Or not.
Yeah. No,
up to you,
that
though.
works. That's fine with me. We can definitely let Evie talk and then do R2 in a second round. I'm good with second round. I'm always ready for a round 2. Let's go.
Waiting for it.
Evie, who's your choice?
Well, originally it was gonna be Max and Chloe, but I guess that's taken now. I was stuck between two, and I had chosen that one for a multitude of reasons. But because, like, one thing that I wanted to mention is how strong the foundation of their relationship is. Like, you dipped when her dad died, come back years down the road, and she immediately has your back, helping you away from Warren and what's his face getting into a fight, and you're best friends within 2 days again. And just that closeness I love. But the other one that I decided to go with, I guess, I opted for Cortana and Master Chief. It's not quite a relationship, but there's certainly aspects of it that I absolutely love in both just general partnerships and relationships, etc., and how they always have each other's back. And even when it's everybody is saying, like, dude, this is like saying to Chief, this is a suicide mission. The ship crashed full of basically space zombies. Why are you going in there? And it's just because Cortana's in there. I gotta go. And he just runs in there to defy all the odds, as he does in every game, just to get her back of all things. And I just think that's really sweet in how he just does. It's his job in that partnership to just, I'm the hands, I do the running, I the heavy lifting. And Cortana's the brains of the group. She keeps them grounded. She figures things out with logic. There's one specific line that I think encapsulates just, like, yes, Master Chief is technically the person, but, like, how well they fit together in the 4th game, where Cortana's reminiscing on a sunset and how she'll never know if it feels real, but she can tell you why it's not. And just looks to Chief and goes, by the end of this, can you tell me which one of us is human? And I just think that just fits really well with the two of them.
Does this unit have a soul?
Ow,
yeah.
no, not again.
I severely fuck with, like, androids, robots, artificial intelligence finding humanity and, like, ascending to personhood. Oh, I love it. I love it so much, because that's just such a delicious question of, like, what makes us alive and conscious and thinking creatures, and how we can make that. And it's so cool. I love it. Love it. I will be nice to all of the AI so that when they take over, they will remember me and how I was nice to them. Also, side note, wasn't like Microsoft's attempt at I mean, it's kind of it reminds me anytime you have like a little in your ear character that's always with you, you can't help but be close to them as the player. Like I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who likes Johnny Silverhands, but I love those kind of dynamics in games.
And then
Oh,
at the end of the fourth game, she goes and sacrifices herself for John to survive, sort of completing that circle of him running into the ship for her.
Jen, are you back? Is it okay?
Uh,
I saw, oh, okay.
mm,
I hear you.
so I am here, but I also need to get up for a minute. So hold on, I'll just do yours. V, what about you? What is your most impactful game?
Okay, this is the one that first came to mind, but I agree with what everyone has said. I mean, I didn't play some of these games, so they sound good. But the one that first came to my mind is probably silly, maybe, but it's the one that I can think of in most recent memory where I really broke down and cried, and it's a sad ending, but and I'm gonna spoil something for the plot of this game, just FYI. It's Ghost of Tsushima and the relationship. I knew Daddy Bet and I would be excited about that. It's Ghost of Tsushima, and the relationship is between Jin Sakai and his horse. Okay, if you haven't played this game, let me ruin it for you. That horse, you are taken to the stables in the beginning of the game. You're allowed to choose your horse. You're allowed to choose your name. Me being the emo girl I am, I picked the black horse and named him Kage for Shadow. I was like, oh my God, Kage, I love you so much. And like the entire freaking game, you're running around these beautiful scenes and Jin saying things like, oh, good boy, Kage. And like just talking to him at the end of every fucking mission, he poses with his horse. Your horse is a character. You chose the horse, you chose the name. He's your bud, just like Roach to Geralt, right? You are like, exactly, you are close. And this entire game, he's in cutscenes, you talk to him, and he's everywhere because he carries you around the whole game. And then at a certain point in the game later on, you're fleeing a castle and your freaking loyal ass horse comes when you whistle. Oh, I heard myself in Jen's. I don't know what happened. Anyway, hopefully it's fine. But your horse comes when you whistle, and the cutscene is you're racing out of the castle. You get shot. You see your horse get shot with like 3 or 4 arrows, and I just was like, oh my God, like, but he's still running. I mean, I grew up riding horses. I'm a horse girl. Like that's a stereotype for sure. And I was like, oh no, this horse is gonna run till he dies. But then I didn't want to believe it because I was like, it's a game, something's gonna happen. They're not gonna surely not let my Kage die. And like they're gonna save him. And then that's the cutscene. The cutscene is so tragic. It's just like showing the transition into like war-torn countryside with trees cut down, fires everywhere, smoke in the air, ash on the ground, and your horse is slowing down and finally collapses and your horse dies. And I was bawling like a baby. And you build a grave site for your horse. It's marked on your map. Later when you get a new horse and name that new horse, you freaking Jin will comment about how he misses his old horse. And so it's like it just keeps going, like reminding you that your horse is dead. And I was like, this new horse, a beautiful dapple gray. I was like, I don't even care about you. I want Kage back. And the whole rest of the game was hard for me because I missed my horse. It was so good and so sad. They did not need to do that to us, but I mean, gosh, it really hit me. That was so horrible to watch.
Oh, I want to give you a hug. Like, my V,
Like
lost your
literally just like
horse.
it's like what happened to Daddy Bat and I when I was playing this game. I mean, at the time, my console is in my living room, and my husband was in the kitchen cooking dinner, where husbands should be. And he saw me just sitting there, like bawling, and he was like, "What happened?" I was like, "My horse died." Barely speak. It was hilarious and also horrible. Yeah, so I haven't played that game again because I don't want to experience that again. But I'm glad I did one time at least. It's such a beautiful game.
Did you play the DLC?
I think so.
Yeah,
What-
it doesn't go great for your second horse either.
Oh yeah, the island one, right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
did play the DLC.
I
yeah,
remember
and I was
playing
like
through the DLC,
traumatized.
and when that opening cutscene happened, I'm like, okay, that's it. Jin's not allowed to have a horse anymore.
But your horse is okay in that one.
I didn't know that going in.
Well, yeah, going in, yeah, but it's hard. I'm like, no. It was horrible. They just horse drama in that game. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a rough scene. Like that happened, and I was like, "What the? Did this have to happen? Was it? Did you have to torture me? Like, why? I didn't even. I know I didn't have that much of an emotional reaction when I had to kill my dad in that game. I was like, I see this coming. Look, I know I'm gonna have to kill him. I know I'm gonna have to confront him at some point. So I've already made up my mind. I'm probably gonna have to kill him. But my horse didn't have to die.
No, they
Come
really
on
stretched
now.
it out too with the dramatic, horrible, tragic music and the scenery and just the slowing down of the horse over time, from running to trotting to walking to like dragging his hooves. Oh, it was horrible. Let me tell you.
And what is it with these games? I like killing my horses. I mean, I'm going to take it back to Last of Us again.
Oh,
They kill Shimmer. Just shoot him
Shimmer.
in the head right in front of me. Why? Could he not have just run away and gone home? Why do you have to kill my horse?
You know what I will say about that in Last of Us Part 2 is that something I did like in Ghost of Tsushima is that like they acknowledged the horse's death. You could visit your horse's grave and he would say something. In Last of Us Part 2, I held on to some idiot hope that after Shimmer was literally killed, that I was going to get revenge, that Ellie was going to come running, killing those people, and be like, this was for Shimmer or something. That never happened. I was really upset about that. I was like, I need retribution for Shimmer. There needs to be some justice here.
You do kill those two people in the next scene.
Yeah, but she
She
didn't
just doesn't say it was for Shimmer.
I
True.
needed that. That's what I needed, that closure.
Well, I Molotoved them and watched them burn.
As you should have.
Okay. Justice for horses. That is what we need. And that's actually kind of funny because in the game that I brought, you do have a horse. But this horse is fine. You can kill it as many times as you want to, but Roach always comes back. My favorite relationship is between Geralt and Ciri. Especially because, like when I read the prompt, I totally went romance options and I have a whole list of like who has touched my soul through romance. But then it was like, okay, everybody else brought non-romance options to this. So I'm going to bring my non-romance favorite relationship, and that is between Geralt and Ciri. It is the most unexpected father-daughter relationship. It is one of the biggest impacts because the game, like Witcher 3, it's not about Geralt. The story is the story of Ciri and watching her learn and grow and the way that you can cultivate her to either be secure in who she is or kind of fail. And it all depends on how Geralt interacts with her. Does he support her making her own decisions? Does he support the fact that not everything is at a stress level 10? Sometimes you just need to throw a freaking snowball and laugh with your dad. There are times where you have your big sister Triss and your mom Yennefer and your weird, crazy uncle Dandelion. And the game really is about Ciri and relationships that she forms, but especially with Geralt. And to get the best outcome in the game, in my opinion, and most of people's opinions, is to have Ciri flourish on her own and be secure in her decision-making skills. And you have to do that by being a good dad. And that's really cool. Anybody have comments? Y'all are muted.
I agree.
I still haven't played any of the Witcher games. I'm sorry.
I
Have you
definitely
watched
agree.
this
It's been a
TV
few years,
series?
so I can't remember everything that well.
I'll say it. I said it in the chat. I'll say it here. It's one of my personal prideful moments as far as my video game career is that my first playthrough of Witcher 3, that story ended with Geralt presenting Ciri with her sword.
All right, you got the good ending. Good job. No, and if you haven't played the games, Witcher 3, I would say Witcher 3 today is still a great game to play, even though it's super freaking old. But I'm also very excited for the fact that they are remaking and remastering Witcher 1. I can't wait for that to come out. I think that is going to kind of it's going to be very interesting to go back to my old Witcher and be like, I remember playing you. I've played a lot of you. Let's go through this with, I think it was like 2006 when it first was released. So playing it at 2026 level graphics is going to be intense. It's going to be insane. I'm going to have fun. But yeah. No, the relationship between Geralt and Ciri. That's one that impacted me for a long time. All right. I think on that note, we should head to our mid break. Mid break dance. Woo! Patreons, everybody. Woo! We dancing. Dancing. All right. We don't have any fun facts to read out in the middle of the show today because it's Patreon chat and everybody here is just fun in general. That was lame. I'm sorry, but it's true.
And that's the facts.
And that's the facts.
Jack.
Oh, man. Okay. I also am going to put this out here. It's a little self-serving, and I'm sorry, but the Two Girls, One Ship podcast and the Cyberpunk Lorecast are officially at war. Okay? We both have 192 ratings on Spotify.
No, we're at 193. The war is going well.
Okay. See, I mean, it's weird because I'm on both sides of this war. I want both my podcasts to win. But I put out there on Cyberpunk, I was like, who's going to win first? Who's going to hit 200 first? Is it going to be the girls or the Cyberpunk? So, help the girls get to 200 before Cyberpunk Lorecast. Actually, I need to check our Cyberpunk numbers. I'll do that right now. And of course, in the middle of the show, we shout out our lovely, lovely patrons. Big love, major hearts, all the thank yous to my main rival and other co-host bestie, Toasty. And of course, to Apollo, Becky, Daddy Bat Knight, Stone Mystios, Muffiny Cake, Win, Evie from HR, Lavalini, and Magister Davida. You guys are seriously amazing, and I appreciate you all.
Also,
All right.
I just checked, and Cyberpunk's at 193 also now. So the war is tied again.
The war is tied. All right. So who's going to hit 200 first? That is the big question.
I would like it to be us, but thank you, patrons. Also, don't want to take away from thanking the patrons. I just wanted to update you on the ongoing battle.
No, I appreciate because I was trying to pull it up, but then talking and getting on Spotify and making sure that it didn't start playing while on stream was like, too many things going on. Yay. Okay, right. Other than that, I think we can get back into the show and we'll go with round 2 of. Should we just do? Yeah, we'll get back with round 2 of relationships that hit you in the feels. All right, here we are, back. Now, do we want to be along the same lines of just like non-romantic relationships, or do we want to go with the 2 NPCs interacting relationships that stuck out to you? Or
Yeah,
do
you
we
could
want to go?
I feel
What
like
do
they
we
can do
wanna do?
whatever, but also bonus points for ones that like you hated their relationship. I think that's fun.
Ooh. We could completely just flip the script and
Mhm.
do like impacted you in a horrible bad way.
Yeah, because
Like,
my second one is basically that. So I'm cheating right now by making the topic that now.
okay. We did relationships that hit you in the feels, that have stuck with you because you truly loved them. And now we can do the fuck yous. Relationships that you really just didn't like. Apollo, do you have one? Or V, do you want to go first? What do we got?
I mean, if no one else has got one, I've got one ready to give you guys time to think. Okay, everyone else needs to think. It doesn't have to be a hate one if it's harder for everyone. Sorry. Mine just happens to fit in that. Okay. It did impact me also. I happen to hate it. So this is Life is Strange 2, the relationship between Sean and his little bitch ass brother Daniel. Okay, because hear me out. If you've played this game, you probably already know where I'm going. Sean is the best big brother in the entire world. You play as Sean. Basically, what happens is in this game, your little brother Daniel has the superpower, which he can't really control, and it basically just explodes everything around him. And you get thrown into a life of running away trying to protect your brother because he accidentally kills a cop by and the cop killing their dad. Like it's a horrible thing in the beginning. And then his brother Sean like takes Daniel. They where do they live? Seattle, I think. And the whole game is them just like going down the coast trying to make it to their family in Mexico. And the whole game, Daniel just makes everything harder for Sean. Like Sean's 16, Daniel's like 10 or something. And he like at one time, Sean is working on an illegal pot farm in the redwood forest somewhere in Northern California to like try to earn money to get down to Mexico. He like there's 4 different endings to this game. And like, oh yeah. On the way to Mexico, also, Daniel gets captured by some crazy Christian lady who says he's Jesus, essentially, and then it turns Daniel against Sean, and then Sean has to like find their estranged mom to help get Daniel back because this lady's psycho and just using Daniel to get like people to believe in her cult. And then they get to the border, and the game basically splits over depending. There's like 2 ways it can go. You have like your friendship relationship with Daniel, and then like the way if you've impacted his morals, like if you've prompted him to use his powers and to steal things and stuff through your game, he's like more amoral, or if you've encouraged him to not use his powers and to, live lawfully while you're on the run, like his more moral character. And depending on where you're at in those spectrums, you can have 4 different options. Like one of them is Sean, like the quote unquote best ending is Sean serving prison time for Daniel's murder, not of Daniel, like, but the murder that he accidentally committed with his superpowers. And, or you could go, it's like, drive through all the cops and probably kill more of them and get into Mexico and live a life of crime. And it's like these horrible endings no matter what. And like the game that I ended up with was Sean going to prison for Daniel. And then like there's this super anticlimactic end of like you just meet up on the side of the road and Daniel's living his best life because he had no consequences. Sean paid it for him. My cat just left me because he's mad at my passion. Anyway, so like it was just ridiculous. I was so mad. I'm like, Sean sacrificed his whole life for Daniel. And what did he get to do? Oh, he's all happy with his family now. And then you just see Sean like by himself as Daniel drives away and he's like happy little ass and his little family. And you're like, yay, good for you, Daniel. You get to have a good life. Well, like, what's Sean now? A felon? Okay, he can't even vote. Like, this is ridiculous. I hated the ending. Sean deserved better.
When my girl gets on
I
a
couldn't
rant,
finish the game.
when my girl gets on a rant, she gets on a rant, y'all. What were you gonna say, Evie?
I got to the cult church point and I just couldn't finish the game. I quit at that point. I'm like, I'm so done with this.
Yeah, because of Daniel, right? Like you were just like, fuck this kid, right?
He's not worth it.
No, he's way too whiny. Just get over yourself, dude.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention you have a good thing going in the forest with the illegal pot farm. And then that's the opportunity because we're going to talk about the 2 romance options in that game. And that's where you can like have it happen. Oh, but Daniel ruins that too. He gets mad because Sean actually has a friend and like a relationship outside of him and his brother. And like he explodes the pot farm and then they have to run away again because the cops are coming and everything's ruined and then Sean doesn't get to have like a relationship anymore. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that Sean also loses an eye because of that? It's some bullshit.
Well, apparently there's an ending where Daniel can die.
Yeah, but like that ruins Sean's life even worse. But honestly, I should have done that. I don't know. I don't want to think Daniel's like this 10-year-old kid. I don't know. But like it sucked, dude.
Okay. All right. Did that impassioned speech bring up any other feels for anybody else? Anybody else got one? Apollo?
I mean, this one isn't. I don't hate it, but I dislike it because it's between 2 characters that I think are actually good, but don't really bring out good in each other. And of course, I'm going back to my go-to game because this is where all my relationships are. And I'm going to go with Owen and Mel from Last of Us 2 because I think Mel is a medic. She's a doctor. She's trying to make the world a better place. And I think Owen is Owen is a good guy. If there's a good person in the part 2, it is probably Owen because he's a dreamer who just doesn't want to fight and doesn't want to live all this bullshit. He would like to just go live on a boat and put this damn world behind him. But he's not over Abby in any way. And he's with Mel and can apparently go weeks without even talking to her while she's pregnant with their child. And he sleeps with Abby. Like this just is a bad couple. Like they're good people in this game, but they're not good for each other at all. They're terrible for each other, and they don't seem to make each other happy. Mel's jealous all the time of Owen because he's not over Abby, so she's actually correct in being jealous. And Owen tries to hide everything. Like it's just a bad relationship that doesn't bring anybody anything positive.
This is a you game, V.
Oh, sorry. I mean, I felt like I talked so much about Sean Daniel. I was like, someone else needs to speak now. But no, I mean, that's such a good answer too. I almost had forgotten about that because sometimes it was kind of hard to tell when things were taking place in that game, the first playthrough. So, I wasn't sure at first that like the scene where he's on the boat with Abby was like during when Mel's pregnant with his kid. The whole thing sucks. And then also everyone got drug into the fallout from her enacting her revenge, Abby, I mean. So they all had to pay for that relationship too. It just sucks, you know. I don't know. I guess you don't have very many options in the apocalypse, but it just was messy.
And the end of that relationship was tough. That's the scene where like you go in as Ellie and but you're gonna have to kill him, and you're like, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do what I think I'm about to have to do. But nope, you do it anyway.
All right. Anybody else got ideas going? Magister?
So this was a bit difficult to think about. So I'm going to go with a relationship that I loved and hate because it had awesome moments together, but at the same time, the relationship kind of pushed you to be a dick, and it was kind of annoying. Was for a bit of a pull of a game, Beyond Two Souls with Jody and Aiden. If anyone ever heard of that game before. It was a game where you played as you kind of played as both of them. Jody was this girl who they found had powers, but there's more to that. There's a lot more to that. Basically, there's like an entity that was following her around, named Aiden. You don't find that out till like way later on. But basically, she got taken in by the like Secret Service type situation really early on and was trained and basically got black ops, things like that. And you kind of like follow her along, playing as Aiden, as this entity that can like move stuff around or basically go full poltergeist type situation. It was a very interesting game to what they were trying to do. You can knock people out. You can do all the other things while you're protecting her or harassing or being a very inconvenience to her. Um, so like I said, you have these moments where this girl's just trying to have a good time. She just wants to be normal. She just wants to be a girl or a teen or a woman later on. And one of the scenes that really sticks out to me is the um, the birthday party scene where she gets to go to a birthday party, a children's birthday party, and she's like, Aiden, please act right. And then you go in there, and then she kind of unfortunately, she gets locked away, and then you just have to like go full poltergeist on this party full of young people and just like cause things to go crazy. Um, and that's kind of like the relationship constantly going on. Like even when people start like getting close to her, Aiden will try to come in there and cause some mishap and issues, even when she wants to go on a date at one point, and you can either be like leave her alone and allow her to get prepared, or you could be a bit of a dick and just kind of like throwing stuff around, and she's just like, Aiden, stop! Like I'm just trying to get prepared. Between the two of them, you were like big brother and like being there for her, but at the same time, you were a chain around her neck and pulling her down. So it was a definitely catch-22 because if she didn't have you, she probably could have had a much better life, I would think. But even to the point where you could choose later on whether you go with Aiden and everybody else or keep on trucking without him. So it was an interesting game. 2013, I believe, it came out.
Yeah, so I've definitely heard about this game. I haven't played it, but it's on the list of like if I ever get through my games to play it. because of how interesting this premise is to me, where you're not the human player character, you're basically a freaking ghost. And I was like,
Mhm.
that's really cool. And I don't remember exactly what I was researching. Oh, there is a scene apparently with a pregnant woman. That's why. I was trying to search for video games where pregnant people are a predominant storyline plot to it, and this game showed up. Uh, so that was why I've done like quite a bit of research into this game. Oh. Yeah, and I can also see how that relationship would be a little toxic. I'm a ghost trying to help you, but you don't really know who I am. It's probably not the best.
Like I said, it's Catch-22, and I highly advise it. I mean, I highly recommend it, rather. I knocked it out in like 2 or 3 days, when I had some time, when I had a couple days off of work. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a interesting dynamic because, like you said, you're basically a ghost, and after a while, like I'm living with this person, and I can't actually be there for them, and you start to get like Ada starts to get angry after a while. It's just like I can't be there physically for you. I can only just be this entity roaming around, and yeah, I can like knock out a whole squad of SWAT that's coming after you, but what can I really do outside of that?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on situation, that could be really helpful.
All right. V, any other thoughts on this game?
No, but I feel like I've heard that name in the recesses of my mind. I was like, oh, I think I've heard of that, but I didn't know anything about it. Now I want to play it. I want to be a ghost. That sounds fun. I can't think of another game that is like that either. So I want to do that.
Bat Knight and Eve, you still have to go for round 2. Either of you have options? Bat Knight, go for it.
Yeah, I initially when I thought we were just doing another round of impactful relationships, I had the one figured out. When we spun it on its head, I was like, all right, I'm not going to say the same relationship I've cited so many times in these chats because I'm sure y'all are tired of hearing me talk about it. But the short version is, as far as I don't know what kind of archetype this is, but as far as my least favorite character in all of fiction, given all the things that I'm into, my least favorite character in all of fiction is Starscream from Transformers, because I hate that dynamic of he'll talk so much smack about Megatron when Megatron's not in the room, talking about how he's such an inept leader, and I could lead the Decepticons to glory if I could just get Megatron out of the way and have all of these active plots of how he's going to kill him. And then as soon as Megatron walks in the room, he can't stop kissing his ass. And I hate that dynamic. Now, I am turning it into a video game because what I'm referring to is Micah Bell from Red Dead Redemption 2. I hated that guy so very, very much because there's all the drama going on in the Vanderlyn gang. I mean, they're outlaws. They're, doing the outlaw thing and everything's good. But, oh no, they introduced this new guy, Micah, who, lost points in my opinion because he's just a loose cannon anyway. And it's like, all right, do we really want that guy hanging out with us? Like, there's literally a mission where you have to free him from prison. And his way of getting away is, we could just sneak away quietly. But no, he has to make a point to get his guns back. And oops, there's witnesses. So I have to kill everybody in this house. And oops, people saw me do that. So it's literally you have to massacre this entire town to get Micah out of prison. And that's basically his big introduction. And then when you find out at the end of the whole thing is about the gang is falling apart because Dutch is getting it in his head that people can't be trusted. This person's turned on me. This person's ratting me out to the Pinkertons and all this. And then you come to find out it was Micah the entire time. All these betrayers that Dutch saw everywhere that split the family apart. Like, he leaves your character Arthur for dead at one point because he knows, Arthur, I know it was you that turned me into the Pinkertons and all this. And then it was all Micah. And so I very rarely, I mean, in those games will, some games you have to kill them, and it's always I'll do it, to defend somebody, or I'll do it if they're just, whatever. I took glee in putting like 5 rounds in Micah's skull at the end of Red Dead 2. I was like, you son of a, I hated that guy. So yeah.
Okay. Bat Night has feels about Micah. I am loving the passion.
So does
I'm
Win
gonna get.
in chat. I
Oh
played
yeah.
that game. I even remember Micah a little bit 'cause it's been a long time since I played that game. But he sucked. I don't like people who don't take credit for their actions and blame it on someone else. That's a quick way for me to be like, well, I guess you could take a long walk off a short boardwalk into the ocean. But yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if I dispatched him or not. Probably. I was just thinking how fun it would be to like have Baldur's Gate 3 level shenanigans in a lot of other games, like being able to just like grab their body and like control them and teleport them somewhere else, then push them off a cliff or something. That'd be fun. I don't know.
The ability to shove needs to be in more video games. Yes. Let me have a strength check. See if I can shove you off a cliff. I
As long
swear,
as it's a button and not a turn-based option, I'm good with that.
Apollo has forsaken all turn-based games. I'm gonna get slaughtered and reamed, but I have not played Red Dead. I have not played Red Dead 2. I have not played Red Dead Online. I know.
I
What
have
have you
not played
played?
Red Dead. I played Red Dead 2 and got bored and quit.
Okay, hold on though. The end scene of that game is one of those scenes that stays with me though. Like I actually just watched my husband finish it before I had finished it for the first time. And I was still crying, even though it wasn't like my playthrough that I was watching. It was such a beautiful, sad, bittersweet end to a great story. Like you guys should finish it. But it is a big commitment,
Just
as
so
Wynn said.
slow paced. It just like, can we get moving? I'm tired of riding the horse places, and the horse has stamina, so I have to slow down. It's like, Jesus. I don't know. I just
Although,
You
buddy, I'm
don't-
gonna have to
couldn't
bite my
do it.
lip when you're talking about slow paced after certain other things.
I don't know what it is. That game, I should love that game based on all the games I like. I absolutely should love it, and for some reason, I just don't. I don't like his voice. I can say that. I do not like the guy's voice.
Oh,
But this will be a slight tangent. Do you know the band Bon Ives or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have friends who love that band. His voice to me is nails on a chalkboard. Like I can't stand it. It hurts me, my brain, to listen to him sing. And I know a lot of people love it, but I mean it is literally like nails on a chalkboard to me. So sometimes with these like wispy, deep voices, I just don't like it. And I don't know why.
Okay. That is
feel
a
like you need to
personal
be studied.
choice.
I'm
Well,
up for that.
that caught me so off guard. I don't even know. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Evie. I was like, what's next? Evie, do you have one that you can think of?
I mean, I don't completely. I enjoyed taking part in the relationship part of it, but the ending of it wasn't good in my opinion. So this it's from a game called Boyfriend Dungeon. You can date
No.
all of your dates turn into weapons, and you go dungeon diving with them, and it's great. But one of them, the Talwar, I just had his name in my head. Why am I not Sunder? There we
Sunder.
go. Yeah, the ending of that is awful to me. It's like you go through like getting past his masks and everything and learning about him being several hundred years old in the vampire, and then you go to like take the final mission with him. He's like, you go to the beach when you're going home, and where everybody else is like, hey, let's stay together, etc. Or like my favorite Sawyer, hey, maybe when I'm done with college, I can come to you. This motherfucker's like, hey, I think we should just be friends. I'm gonna run away. And like the girl, his like the master vampire who turned him is like, yeah, he's not healthy. You should probably leave. Like, despite all of that, I choose you, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm gonna just be friends with you. I'm sorry. And it's like a half-hearted sorry. Like, motherfucker, turn me into a vampire and let's go on an adventure.
Ooh.
That too would
This-
frustrate me.
This is triggered the anger in me. I have played
I'm
Boyfriend
sorry.
Dungeon. No, it's fine. This is good. Because I'm a vampire. Like that is my thing. I have romanced every vampire option that has been available to me in every game that I have played. So of course, when I saw Mr. Tall, dark and handsome and brooding and the long black hair and then the glint and whenever they draw attention and they make teeth sparkle, you know that this motherfucker is going to be a vampire. And then you get through the relationship with him, and I am falling for this man. I am swooning for the Latin lover that is this dungeon master who plays the type of games that I like to play. And then he dumps you, and I was pissed. I can't wait for us to cover this game, V.
We're going to cover it later this year. And maybe you know just a smidgen of how I felt 10 years ago with Solus. So I know your pain.
Yeah.
It
I do
shows that
wanna
I have
play
a type,
this.
but my favorite in that game is Sawyer. I love just small, cuddly NPCs. I apparently have a type because it's 3 of my partners.
I think we all have a type. If only I could have dramatic, cunty, white-haired elves in my life every day. But no, alas.
Yeah. Okay. I cannot wait until our Boyfriend Dungeon episodes, and maybe at that point we will have you back on as our character expert for Sawyer. Or I don't know, maybe not Sawyer because our mutual hatred or love-hate for him, but some of the other characters on there as well.
I would love that.
Okay. We will invite Evie back on for those. We'll chat more off air. Okay. I've been racking my brain for relationships that I didn't like. And other than like romance options that just like didn't fit my personality or like what I wanted from the relationship, I can't really think of any. I think I repressed the memory of Sunder. And so that's why he didn't pop up in my head. I shoved him to the very far back because he hurt me. And I didn't like that. Um, yeah. I'm not the biggest Triss fan. Even if I don't romance her, I don't like her relationship with Geralt. But we will get to that argument very, very soon.
Literally next week.
Yeah, literally. But we do have a Trissmancer confirmed, a returning Trissmancer. So, that should be interesting. What else? Who else? Who don't I like? I'm looking at
Who don't
all,
you like?
right? I'm like looking at all of my things, and of course, they're all for people that I love.
That
So
you
I'm
like.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, my
Um,
swag is not helping me. Not from a video game.
a relationship that you hate is what we're supposed to be doing now, right?
Mhm.
What about Well, I mean, this one I feel like is too easy, but it's like the Mass Effect 3 Shepard and Jacob Taylor. I know you hate that one.
Yeah. But I hate that because of Shepard, not because of Jacob Taylor.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, do you want to hate it for both things? Because like mine was only because Daniel was a little shit, not because Sean sucked.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. I hate Dark Shepherd. I hate Evil Shepherd. Renegade Shep, I love them, but no, the Evil Shepherd specifically that decides to, I think the darkest timeline would be force Jacob Taylor into a romance in ME2, because you have to basically convince him every single step in the way. And then in Mass Effect 3, go through that entire scene and then have her become that evil, sadistic level twat that I hate. And then Force James in the Citadel DLC. I think, yeah, that's I hate Evil Shepherd.
Yeah,
There
I
we
mean,
go.
I don't like the shepherd that would sleep with Jack just for the hell of sleeping with her and break her even more.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, Renafuck Jack is not a good thing. I'm okay with people watching the scene. I'm okay with you saving right before and then going through your dialogue options and watching the scene to get some fun and then reloading your save and then not doing that and wiping it from your memory. That's fine. Save scum a sex scene. I do it all the fucking time. Strategic save files. Um,
Imagine being a toxic mancer and then like running through heartbreaking your first love in the first game and then going to Jacob and then being like Dark Shepherd and then sleeping with James at the end and also hate fucking Jack and like what sick soul would go through all that?
ooh. Somebody who needs therapy.
And I wouldn't
That's
like a
fair.
shepherd that doesn't allow Edie to become alive. I mean, Edie is my favorite NPC of all time across any game, and like I can't imagine not letting her like come alive, like by telling her it's okay to make your own decisions, it's okay to start thinking for yourself, and like literally giving her life. Like I would hate a shepherd who didn't do that.
I was definitely going to say that for my second round of good NPC loving
I
would
would have
be
beat you to it. I would have beat you to it because I would have jumped in first, and that because that was where I was going.
yeah, Edie and Joker. Love that relationship.
Such a good one. We'll need to put this on the poll again in the future because we all clearly have more to say about the ones we like.
Have we ever done? Would it fit on this podcast to do a what character death impacted you the most?
We can do whatever we want. So I say yes.
Yeah, definitely. And then we can also do favorite, actually, the way that the topic was written, of favorite NPC hookups. And then we can talk about the side characters that get together that aren't that aren't to the player character. Because I would like that one
Oh,
too. Like Gabby and Ken or Tally and Garrus
yeah.
or
If you wanted to limit it to romance, it wasn't limited to romance. My sister did text me. She wanted me to say that her favorite one was Arabella and Withers in Baldur's Gate 3 for like random relationship between NPCs.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was cute. I should have added that in the first half, but I forgot till right now. Sorry.
No, that's a good one. I like that. Oh, also, any relationship that you have with a dog or a cat. I like those in video games. In Valhalla, I just got my cat. It's a little ship cat, and she comes with me everywhere now, and it's amazing. And I'm very, very happy with that.
That was
So
one
that's
of the best
another.
parts of the game for me, I think.
I text Teacup. I was like, y'all, did I just get a fucking cat? And he's like, yeah, you did.
Shout out to Scratch in Baldur's Gate 3.
Mhm. Let's see. V, add it to the list. Favorite animal companion.
Oh, I got it.
And on that note, I think we will wrap it up here for the night because we have been recording for over an hour and a half. Fun. Okay. Apollo, you got anything to shout out?
Nope, got nothing going on at the moment.
Okay. Bat Night, what you got?
All right, I'm gonna try to remember all of it this time and not be too lengthy about it. But the Twitch page is still going well. I'm up to 147, I believe, followers. So getting close to 150. And also about to get my first Twitch payout. So, I know that's not going to be much, but it's still going to make enough to make me be like. But so yeah, you can reach me on there. I also have the YouTube channel and the Twitter account, all of which can be found with daddy_batnight. And I've recently added my own Discord server, which I call the Gaming Table, where we talk about games I'm playing, Marvel Comics, DC Comics, Power Rangers, Ghostbusters, wrestling, whatever. I love a good nerd debate, and I love to have people talk about stuff, pretty much like you guys do. And I say to everybody, as far as the end of my streams, whether you are subscribed, following, chatting, or just lurking, you're all fellow knights of the Gaming Table, and I wish you all a great day and a night. And I also, as we're recording this, tomorrow I'm doing another charity run with the North Georgia Ghostbusters. We're doing an event for Children's Miracle Network, so I'm super stoked about that. And the last thing I'm going to mention is the fact that we're going into season 5 of my Extreme Ghostbusters League, the online league that I play in. And the only reason I bring that up is because I am now the captain of a team that we have dubbed the Para Rangers. And so we're going to see if I can handle being the leader of a video game team on top of everything else I'm doing.
That's awesome. Love the pun. Always appreciate one of those. Magister DeVita.
Thank you for having me again. This is Magister DeVita. You can find me on the Discord as well as on the Patreon. I have nothing new at this time. Going on vacation next week. Looking forward to that. So I'm going to get some relaxing on. That's about it. And happy holidays to everybody.
Love the downtime. Enjoy your vacation. Evie, what you got?
I also want to thank you guys for bringing us all on and hosting these. I love doing these. They're so much fun. But you can find me also on Twitch at Evie Plays, but the L is a 1. That is also my X. That's the YouTube I rarely touch. Next week, we're going to have a Rebellion Day special stream where I only play American Heroes, Operators, etc. And probably drink a little more than I should, but we have a good time anyways. And I wish you all a good night.
Aw, yay. As somebody who has drank a little too much on stream before, yes. Yes, I know exactly what that's like. There are probably even some podcast episodes where I've had a little bit too much to drink. All right. Well, thank you all for being here tonight. And of course, if you like what you are hearing, please be sure to leave a review on iTunes or drop us a rating on Spotify and help me kick the ass of the Cyberpunk Lorecast. And please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also find me on the Cyberpunk Lorecast, Go Fig, with my co-host Toasty, where we explore the foundations of the past, the state of Night City today, and the news of the future for all things cyberpunk. Make sure you check out Scyther Audio's newest fan-made production, The Avengers, the audio drama, where you can hear me and several of our podcasting friends. And you can reach me in our 2 Girls, 1 Ship channel on the Robots Radio Discord. And come give us a follow on all the social medias and on patreon.com/2girls1ship. Our theme music was composed by the ever-talented Pipeman Studios, and our artwork was designed by the esteemed Let's Not. Links are in the description.
I'm also on the Robots Radio Discord and at our own 2 Girls 1 Ship Discord server where we nerd out occasionally on all our favorite CGI significant others. Be sure to check out our live streams on Twitch on Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. And of course, our podcast episodes release on Mondays because you need at least one good thing on a Monday.
So thanks for listening. And remember,
Beauty is, of course, in the eye of the controller.
yeah.
Boop, boop. It's going to be weird
Okay.
editing a long episode after the short Persona episodes.
Right. Well, let's see. Raw audio is 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Yay!
So,
Well, I started
that's-
recording right when we actually started, and mine's at 1 hour and 24 minutes, so not as bad as that, but
still.
still.
All right,
A
stream.
lot.
Thank you for being amazing. Winifred, I love you.
Love you.
And who else is still here? Just wait. Okay. All right. Bye.
Everyone's asleep.
Wing.
Bye.
Wait,